fish too, could be probably sometimes come into it. I've never as an angler. Round out your life as you're a fisherman is to visit a facility like Seeker and see how everything's done from start to finish. Now, a few of you raised your hands, I'm a rod builder. That's fine. You get a blank. But we're talking about material laid out on a table or stuff that comes in a roll or sitting in a box that ends up being this. I used to go, I did a couple seminars at Bass Pro a few years back, and I asked, can any of you give me a definition of what a rod is? It's something you catch fish with, but I meant specifically, you know, finally I kind of hit a cylindrical tapered tube, hollow, that is used with components added to it to facilitate the art of fishing or putting, you know, other things with it. And finally, when I started laying out these little tips to them, they started getting the idea that, yeah, I never thought of it on that level. I always thought it's just a fishing rod. I just go get it and I catch fish. We've been fortunate enough to be on How It's Made on TV. Darren has a wonderful video on YouTube that goes through what you're going to see today. So I'm glad you're here. I bring all my friends here at least once and show them what is actually in the process. And I'll tell you what, real quickly, it gives you a better appreciation when you see the hands-on that are involved in creating a finished product. You understand the battle that we're fighting against the overseas markets. I'll just leave it at that. A few of you have already talked to me. As the tour goes on, and at the end of the tour, I'll be back in the middle area. Jim will be giving the tour. If you have technique specific or more detailed questions about the things that we're going to show you or any of the new line, I'd be happy to spend time with you. On this rack, we have the new trout rods. We have the Signature Series rods. We have the pinhead rods. And we have the Alabama rig rod that Darren has etched himself. Basically, everything on this rack has been developed within the last, what, a little over a year. And I mean, it's really amazing when people think of Seeker. In the old days, you could go black steel, classic, American, and you know, that was it. And then later the Super Seeker, and everybody, oh, I know everything about Seeker. I know what they have. You know, nice rod, very expensive, blah, blah. But now, we've hit just about every segment of the fishing community. If you don't know who Paul Elias or Tommy Martin are, you can Google them and find out that they're Hall of Fame BASS fishermen who have fished all of their life. The rods that you'll touch or see here are technique-specific rods that were totally designed by them for us to build for them. And we have this working agreement with them, and we're very, very fortunate and happy to use them. I have used them in both sides, fresh and saltwater. I'm getting to fish a little more freshwater this year. We're going to Lake Paris and down the valley. And I'll tell you what, I've used two of them a lot, the jerkbait rod and the spinnerbait rod. And some of the neat stuff, they're color coded. So if you have a bass boat like these guys that we're making them for do, you see the purple, they don't even have to read what this one is or the way they know by the color as it's laying there. That's my jerkbait rod. And I've been taking this to Mission Bay. You see the tip, how kind of a light soccer tip, but then it transitions into a fairly nice backbone. I've been throwing jerkbaits on 3/8 ounce owner sled heads and really loving this rod. And then I take it to Lake Paris or wherever, and I start off the morning with my small topwater baits, using it for that, and then go and do smaller cranks or rattling baits. We also have one that's for rattling baits. And again, it can be used either side. If you pick them up, S-glass, completely light. I think Darren's going to show you something a little later about how one of these with a reel will float in the water. So we think of the application as a kayak fisherman. You know, how many people have lost a rod and reel over the side?
Those are entirely fiberglass?
Entirely, or super glass as we call it, the S-glass. Exactly, like I said, made specifically with their specs, but with our Seeker little feet, the tiny micro guides are there. You know, like I said, I'll answer these specific questions. Tom and Val have seen these. I fished these all summer long. My friend Corey Sandman's fishing them. The guys that have put these in their hands have really liked them. And if you know me, it's really hard for me to change things that I do. I have a 7-foot and a 7-11. These are called our React Pro series. They're composites, solid titanium guides. A little different than the Blue Lightning series that I've used for a number of years. But for me to be happy and change like I have, if you see me walk on a sport boat now, I carry 3 of these rod and reel combos, and that's all I fish. And I love them. I think they cast tremendously well with my #1 bait is a Wham. I fish Corey's small weedless bait. I throw Corey's jerk baits. I throw other jerk baits with 1/2 ounce sled heads on one of the 3 that I use, and I really like them. So it's something you may want to look at to add to your arsenal. The lighter one, the 706 series, if you're a swim bait guy, you really want to look at the 7-foot 706 or the 711 706, which is what I have in my hand right here. You can see the tip. You know, you got a little bit of tip, and the whole concept of swim bait fishing is to wind through the bite. We have the Stealth, which is our entry level. So if you're just getting started on tuna, Dorado, you know, the stuff that you're doing now on a day trip, day and a half trip. This is our military grade graphite S-glass composite rod, extremely light, but incredibly strong. Will handle all of your fishing needs, and they're numbered in a very simplistic way, like 70-20 would mean 7-foot, 20-pound test. So you don't have to figure out that Southern California code. Gee, what's a 270H? What line test is that? What's an 870? What's a 9? You got 4 numbers that basically are in the same line test. You know, you got a 270H, you got an 870, you got a 970. Which one? We make it simple. We give you the length and what we recommend. But the Stealths are incredibly light and extremely strong. The other 2 working on the boat for free, washing, scrubbing. So we incorporated that theme, the pinhead theme, and we did rods, basically a series of bait rods and jig rods that kind of looked like a throwback with the blank color. You know, most fiberglass is this color. You don't know that, with a clear coat, the black simple wrap, like some deckhands would even put electrical tape or whatever just to put a guide on it. A Turk's head and torque tape. And you've got fun, durable, functional rods to work. And last but not least, the Cloud series, which we introduced last fall. From 2-pound test, I believe, all the way to 10 or 12. In lengths from 6 foot to like a little over 7 foot. And 2-piece, again, all glass using our special super glass. And I've had a couple of my friends who had these and fished Irvine quite a bit last year have raved about them. And I think if you took the higher models, like the mid, like 4 to 10 pound, there's applications like 4 to 12 or 4 to 10. You could fish them in Newport for spotties. You have a little 6-foot if you want to flip baits around the dock and not worry about backlash. Also, our React series cork handled spinners are the same type of application. So we got a lot of stuff. We still have the old stuff inside. We have the React series. We have the Blue Lightning, which we've changed the handle color to a black handle. Still has the blue epoxy pulsing finish, the blue guides, the insert color. But for now, we've gone to a black EVA, and a lot of people seem to like that. and we still have the Mercedes Benzes are still sitting in there, the Super Seekers. If anybody really wants to make an investment in equipment that's a lifetime investment that will functionally serve you for the rest of your life and hand it down, those things are the Mercedes of our line. And then we still have the Black Steels there. We still have, I don't know if we have any classics still available. We do have classics available. And all the rods will be available. And like I said, I'll be hanging back Denny, another expert in all of these rods. And Denny is the guru on blanks. You can ask him a question, he'll throw you a blank number if you're a rod builder. And Jim will be taking you on the tour. And like I said, Denny and I will be hanging back, answering any questions during or after the tour. So thank you for coming out. And like I said,